All right, guys. Hey, welcome. This is Prosperity Nexus Team Top Tier Talk for Monday, February 20th, President's Day. So glad to have you here. Glad you could make it. And if you're watching on the video, give you a shout out as well. Whoever's typing, can you please mute your line? Or aha, I see you there. Anyhow, tonight we're going to talk about a couple of different things. We're going to talk just real quick about the co-op, and then we want to show you, we want to kind of walk you through, we haven't done this in a while, we have a lot of new team members, walk you through how to invite new prospects, or invite your prospects, I should say, to our webinars that we're holding live on Wednesdays and Saturdays. This past Saturday we had to run a recording because of something that popped up, but normally it's live Wednesday, live Saturday. So we're going to show you how to do that. We'll walk you through the screen share on that. First thing I want to just talk about real quick is the ad co-op. We have 12 participants, and that's cut off. So we have these 12. I'll be emailing you guys with information this week. I'm going to go out and purchase the advertising this week as well. Didn't have a chance to do it today, but we'll get to that. Hopefully tomorrow, if not tomorrow, by Wednesday. And we'll send you out an email with information on, any next steps. We do want to have a call prior to the campaign going live, so we'll let you know when that is as well. Or we'll probably do it on this Zoom. And that's that for the co-op, unless anybody has any questions about the co-op before we kind of move forward. Anybody who's participating have any questions? Okay, cool. So let's show you. John, did you have anything, or Ed, before we kind of do a screen share here?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good too, Steve. I'm good.
All right. Okay, guys. So we'll go through how to invite people to the webinar. So I'm going to get out of this slide here. And we've talked about it, how important it is to invite your prospects to our webinars on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I've been doing this for, 5 years, I think, this business, and I know Ed's been doing it even longer. And very few people are going to sign up without going to the webinar first. So it's so important to get them there. Now, you can't force anybody to attend, but what you can do is make sure you're inviting people and you're inviting them regularly. So let's just kind of walk you through what we mean, because obviously if you're talking to them on the phone, that's easy, right? You just tell them about it. And you're always going to send them to this page. Let me move this thing. Okay.
Hey, Steve, if I could, this is Ed. I did want to say, to do well in this business, what you have to do, one of the things, is promote the very next event. If you've got somebody going through the information, you want them to get to the very next event, or if they're very hot and interested, get them to a three-way immediately, but getting them to the very next live event. Don't wait a week or two, which is why we do it twice a week, because you want to get it while life happens. And things get in their way with their kids or their family or whatever. They don't even remember what they were looking at if you wait a week or two later. So it's very important. Get them to the next available.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So what we're talking about here is you should send an email out Monday or Tuesday. And I'll show you that email and how to do that in a second. And you should send an email out again on Friday, inviting them for Saturday, reminding them for Saturdays. You're going to send them. We've set up this page for you. So it's always going to be, the link is always webinar.prosperitynexus.com. And, it's just a little sales page, I guess, to kind of entice them to register. And they can click on the Wednesday button. And this is set up correctly for the 22nd. I'm not positive if Saturdays is set up. I had texted, or I had Skyped Michael earlier, but let's see. We'll do this live. Now, Saturday still says the 18th. Okay, so Saturday is not good right now. Normally, this would be taken care of by Monday, but it is not today. But anyway, this is the link you want to send them to. And let me get out of that. And what do we want to do? Let's log into our marketing system. Now, this is for leads that you have in your system, right? And we talk about sending a broadcast email. This is what we mean. I'm going to click on this send a broadcast. I'm logged into my back office here. Got to relog in apparently. Try this again. Now you can send one broadcast every 24 hours. Okay, the system's not going to let you do it more frequently than that, so it's once every 24 hours. And you see, this is a normal kind of WYSIWYG editor that you see here. So let's find, unless you have your own invitation already, this one does seem to work pretty well. So on the prosperitynexus.com site, if you click on calendar and scroll down, this is our calendar of events that you guys should know. Here's a good invitation, okay? And you can use it as is, you can modify it, whatever you want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. And this is what I recommend you guys doing. You're going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it into Notepad. I'm on a PC. If you have a Mac, I'm not sure what the compatible program is, but probably something pretty similar. What this will do is remove all the formatting. It'll have some funky formatting from the team site. Now I'm going to copy this again. And go to the broadcast email. Now this probably isn't going to look pretty because all the formatting's taken out. So let me just, you're going to have to rework this. Now you're only going to have to do this once, because then what I recommend doing is once you have it looking the way you want it to look, copy that and copy this formatted into your Notepad. So we want to do our spacing properly here.
And while Steve's doing that,
Yeah.
you could copy it right into that with all the formatting and then work with it in the body. But one thing to remember is about every so often, I would copy the whole thing
Before it times out. Yeah.
before it either times out or you hit an accidental key and it moves to another page or whatever. Because if it does, you can go right back in and just paste it in. So.
Right. Please put. Okay, I'm gonna actually send this.
It did take me but once or twice, and actually once, and all the work I'd put into creating a really nice template, and then I went to hit send and it timed out. I said that'll never happen again.
So I'm just gonna do that. Put my number here. And my website.
I would not want to be your computer keys. You're a beast.
Am I hitting them hard?
My God. Sounds like you are anyway.
All right. Let's change this font to 12, because right now it's too small. Okay. And we got a little spacing here. So let me just walk you through this real quick. This is gonna put their first name there. So whatever first name they have in your system, that's what's gonna put there.
Could you show them where that is on the bottom, where they get that?
I can certainly do that. Here are your variables. I'm not sure you would want to really put anything but their first name, but this is where you can grab that.
Yeah, just copy and paste it. Yeah.
Squiggly name, squiggly. All lowercase. If it's uppercase, it doesn't recognize it, just so you know. Now make sure that the formatting looks good again. Looking good, looking good.
Now, one thing I do, guys, in the subject line, I'll put that squiggly name squiggly again, so it'll pull their first name in the subject line. This is something I like to do.
Yeah, and this is where you want to kind of mess around a little bit. So it's going to be name. Totally agree. This one has worked well for me. We're pulling back the curtains this week.
Make sure your spelling's correct, folks. I'll wait.
I'm going to take a deep breath. Yeah. Okay. And we'll go this week. Now, I think this works because we are talking about, if you use this template, it does talk about pulling back the curtains, but also it kind of works to get clicks because people don't know what the heck this even means, right? We're pulling back what curtains, right? So they click it. It's not your typical, come to my webinar and all, whatever, the typical stuff that you see all the time. So that works, but play around with the subjects, this might work this week and it might not work next week, So, play around with them. I think I have a couple of examples of
the key to remember here is that just like in your inbox, you want to get their attention with it. When you're looking at your own inbox, this is going in with all the other emails. You want it to stand out and get your attention. And personally, with that squiggly name in the subject, it'll pop up as their name. And when I see an email and it's directed to me, one thing I don't like personally is it says RE or like replied and I've never talked to them. I would never suggest doing that because that just upsets me. If I see somebody trying to get me like we've had a conversation already and it's a reply back, that I wouldn't ever recommend doing that. But I love the name, the squiggly name, and it pops up as their name right there. Subject line, I'm going to click on it if they're addressing me personally.
Yeah, having the name there and maybe capitalizing a word or two. Don't capitalize all of them. That's right. A recipe for going into the spam box. But, right. If you capitalize a word, even something like this, that's eye-catching because it's weird, right? It's a little odd to look at. So you're seeing your name and then this one word is capitalized. So, our goal here is to entice them to click. That's the initial goal with any email, right? Get them to click it. And then hopefully we're going to sell them on the content in order for them to register. Now it's important for them also to make sure that you put this last line in there, put your name in the referred by field. It's important that they do that so that, if you think you got somebody to go to the webinar, you can ask one of us and we can check to see if they were on or not. Okay. So you want them to put your name in there. It's not a disaster if they don't, but you want them to put your name in there ideally. And that's pretty much it. And you're going to, let me show you, let me just finish. Anything else on this, guys, before I'm actually going to send this.
All right.
Okay.
As long as you got your landing page, your phone number to them to contact, and who you are, and the subject you just said on the, make sure they enter that. I think that's good.
Okay.
But check for spelling. Obviously, we just said that a minute ago. Always double, triple check for spelling and make sure it looks professional. The worst thing you want to do is send it out. And hopefully you're already in your back office contacts. Here's a tip. If you haven't gone to your own capture page and put your name or your wife's name or your husband's name or your friend's name or whatever and put a secondary email that you have, not your primary, that you're registered, but a secondary, then you should. And then that way, when you send these blasts out, you're seeing them come to you in this alternative email, so you see exactly what they see. And you can catch real quick, like, oh, man, you don't want to rush things and look unprofessional.
Oh, yeah. I'll admit I've done it before, but,
well,
probably we all have, but do your best. Now it's going to give you this red underline if it thinks something's misspelled. But even so, that
doesn't show up. Yeah, right.
I know I've sent things out with the wrong dates and stuff. So yeah, make sure you double check your email. And once you have, what I do now, if you've been here a while, you might have leads in different lists, right? So rather than just picking and choosing, I just always click this. You guys might do something different. I just want everybody to get it, and so I'm going to click that. If you don't click this box and you don't click any of these boxes, your email is going to go to nobody. Okay. So it doesn't matter if there's typos, I suppose, but assuming that you want to send it to your contacts, you're going to, the easiest thing is just to go click the check all box.
And right here, don't forget what John said. Make sure you highlight and copied it all. Once you got it just the way you want it, just in case it took you longer than 10 or 15 minutes to get it just right and it timed out on you. Because if you click this, hit send, and in time it's gone away. You have to start all over again.
Yeah, just show them, Steve, how to, command on a PC. It's just Control A. You don't have to even drag it. Control A, and the whole thing will just be copied.
I didn't even know that, but that's good. Plus, this is kind of formatted the way I want it now. So now I'm gonna click copy.
Yeah, and by the way, then I go into Word or Notepad, like you said, and then I paste it and I give it a name, February 20th webinar email blast. And this way, when I want to do another one, I can copy it, paste it right in, and then tweak it if it's for a different event.
I'm actually gonna just call this webinar invite. But yeah, call it, because I use the same one every time, and I just change the subject lines.
Yeah.
But so I'm just gonna call it webinar invite.
I hope you guys are paying attention. These are the little things that you learn that save you so much time. The last thing you want to do is recreate every single week and try to figure it out. Save them, put them in a file, and copy and paste them each and every time. Edit, tweak just a little bit on the dates, and go for it.
Yeah, because if you don't, you'll start thinking, oh, I don't want to do this blast. That last one took me a long time, and then you won't do it. But
Right.
if you know it's a matter of copy and paste, boom, 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 and you're done in 30 seconds, in and out burger,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so important. It doesn't matter if you have 10 leads, 50 leads, 100 leads, 1,000 leads. You want to do this regularly.
Yeah.
Now let's see. You can actually click preview. I always forget about this. So let's click
Trouble is, preview only plays the first part of it, so if it's longer than that, you can't scroll down. At least I haven't figured out how to do it.
Yes, you can. You double click on that, and then you can drag the screen up and down.
I've tried, but I've never seemed to get that
No,
part
you
of
should
it
be able to-
working.
Oh, look at
There
that.
it goes. All right, Simon.
Thanks, Simon. All right, so there
I've
There it
mastered
is.
this.
looks good. Okay,
Next
cool.
week, Max, Simon is doing the top tier talk.
Yeah.
Now, one thing, scroll up a little bit, Steve. I don't want to get too advanced on everybody now, but I've had several people ask me
Like here?
go back to the other thing, the other page.
Close preview.
Yeah,
Okay, I got you.
and scroll up. I've had several people ask me about other formatting, and sometimes I use pictures. And Steve, if you go through each one of those just to show them, starting with the upload picture, that the one two icons left of the scissors.
Okay, I got you. All
Just
right,
to
so
show
let's say we want to upload an image, right? This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll click there, and I'm going to click choose file. And I have lots of pictures. It's always a good idea. If you see a cool picture when you're on the internet, and it might pertain to this business, or it pertains to sales, or it pertains to making money, or lifestyle, or any of that stuff, save it. That way you have it. You end up building yourself a library of images.
And this software actually saves that library. You don't even have to go to your hard drive after a while. The icon next to that, which Steve will show you, actually keeps all the ones you've ever used, so you can get them at your fingertips.
So I grabbed this keys to success one that I have.
Insert, yep.
And I inserted it. Let's see how big it is. It's probably huge. Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do is make this
is
thing.
A good thing too. You can actually make it smaller and crop it. And
yeah, so I'm going to make it smaller by going down here and getting to the. Do you guys do it this way?
Well, that's one way. Sometimes I throw it into Paint, whatever.
Okay, so I'm just gonna scroll up until it gets smaller. There we go, and then I'm gonna center it. And
so this is a word processor, and which means you can do a variety of things to it.
Let's see what it looks like now. Okay, it's got, you can put whatever there, but just for this purpose there, it's got the keys to success.
And you'd be surprised, guys. Some people have two schools of thought. If you have too many pictures, sometimes it's a spam problem on certain computers. But a picture here and there, salt and peppered, will break up a little bit the confrontation of looking at 5 paragraphs. And some people go, I don't want to read that. But if they see a little, picture's worth 1,000 words, especially at the top, you could put live webinar picture. And if you're looking for pictures to use and download, go to googleimages.com, and there's just so many pictures. You can type in anything and find them.
Yeah. Well, hey, as long as we're talking about that, I'll show you real quick. Let's just say I always like lifestyle. So I'll just Google lifestyle.
He went to googleimages.com, guys.
I'm going to click. Well, actually, I just went to Google. I guess you could do that. And then I'm just going to
either way.
Then I'll click on images. And see, we got all these different cool images. Well, some are cooler than others, I suppose. But
and by the way, I found a good one I'll share with you. Go back up there, Steve, and type in
yeah, I'm not seeing any I love.
type in lifestyle income solutions.
Income solutions.
Yeah. Now you see that one on the left? There's a white version of that, and that's a background version of that. That's a very cool thing because it literally says lifetime income solution. So if you're doing a broadcast to your back office, you could say, hey, this could be a solution for your lifestyle. Boom, you got a little picture, you know?
Yep. Sometimes it didn't work for that, but sometimes you can actually type white background if you want it, and you'll get the image with the white background.
I bet if you click on the picture, it'll give you other pictures like it.
You are probably. Do you want to do this?
You know what? Type in lifestyle income solution, singular. See what happens.
Okay.
I think that's how I find mine.
Hope you guys are jotting
There it is. There it is right there.
The marketing system's definitely going to time me out now. All right, cool. So then we're going to click. Well, this is what I do. I guess there's.
Well, sometimes you can just copy that picture and paste it in if it lets you, and you're done. Otherwise, I always go to Paint and crop it. Yeah.
Yeah. I would just. Go.
I do a right click and then I copy image as or save image as. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you want this on your computer, you're going to save image as.
But sometimes you can copy it and go directly to your thing if you don't want to save it. I always save it.
Income solution. Okay, now we'll go back to the marketing system. Let's put that at the top.
Yeah, that's what I do.
This is probably definitely going to time me out.
But it doesn't matter as long as you copy it before you go. You can put it right back in. Maybe it's good if it times it out so we can see how to handle it.
Yeah, you cry.
Not if you copy it.
Let's see, lifestyle.
I don't think it'll time you out as long as you're actively doing something with
No, I've had it time me out actively doing it.
Oh, really?
But it doesn't matter. I laugh at it and go, ha ha, and go back in and paste it back.
All right, now that's huge, right? So we're gonna shrink this baby down. That's still too big. Yeah, that's good. Now can we make it? Yeah, let's just leave it like that. Now let's see what it looks like.
Preview, sir. There we go.
There we go. Now that's cool. All right, right? That's a pretty good looking email. Now, I'll admit, I don't always, especially on the webinar thing, I don't always put images because I am afraid of hitting the spam box.
Yeah, but on a regular blast, sometimes when you're just sending a regular blast, not a webinar blast, sometimes it's good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I do agree with you. All right, so let's.
And then show them that icon where they now live in the library, right next to it. Anything you put in, watch, if you go to my uploaded images, you'll see anything that Steve has ever used, he can just go right to it and click it and it's in.
There's a few that are recent ones.
And if you want to yellow text out and highlight it, all that stuff is available. Just get used to your word processor.
Well, that's a good one to show, actually, is.
Yeah, yellow out the name of the link.
You might want to highlight your name. So we're going to go to, where do I go?
Hey,
here.
Yeah, background color.
Yeah, there you go.
So there, it's yellow.
Sometimes I make the link yellow, so they see the register link. You could do that too.
Yep.
These may seem like nitpicking things, guys, but trust me, boy. Anything to make it prospect friendly is very helpful.
These are the tips and tricks, guys, that get it done.
The cool thing is you can change that whole webinar prosperity nexus to just click here through the hyperlink deal.
Yeah, they got a hyperlink,
to take you to the link versus the actual domain name.
Yeah, where is that one again? It's right over to the right side. I see it under the 12 point.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. You highlight and copy the link, and you hit that hyperlink and you type in, click here, name it, click here. But well, if it's somebody that's already in your back office that are used to you, great. If I see something that says click here,
I get nervous.
I would rather see that's me too. I'd rather see the link.
Yeah, I don't want somebody instantly hacking me or something, but something to think about.
Yes, this is all good stuff because not only for the webinar, but you should really be sending out broadcast emails on a regular basis. I was just reading something over the weekend by this marketer that's big time marketer, and he says you should email your list daily. I don't. He says you should, and the people that don't want to read your emails and unsubscribe, that's okay because they're not interested anyway. They're not good prospects. Somebody else says a minimum of 3 times a week. Maybe that's a little more realistic for most people is to do that, but you don't want to, believe me, I've done it. You don't want to let weeks go by where you're not sending a broadcast to your list because the autoresponders, they go out in the beginning, but then eventually they stop, and if you're not sending out broadcasts to your older leads, especially, they're going to forget about you, right? They're not getting anything from you. You may be thinking about them. They're not thinking about you.
Now, what is it, 90 days, Steve? I think the autoresponders after like 90 days.
Yeah, I think it's 70, somewhere in there. It's over 2 months.
Right. I think you're right. 70.
So they're going to get those, but they're not getting invited to the webinar. So that's something you need to do manually. Right. If you want to share a stories, we talked about this recently too, facts tell, stories sell. And, so if you have a positive story to share with the people on your list, your prospects, if you will, that's always a good thing. That can be something as simple as, I got five leads from Craigslist yesterday. That's a positive thing, to share with people. Or, hey, I was able to go to my kids' game yesterday because I don't have a job, or something like that. That's all positive stuff that people want to hear about.
And those are things you can put in the title. You could say, I see some guys that you think are hokey and they go, yikes, I didn't even work at all last week. And that's their title, ... And then the guy opens it up and he says, yeah, I went out of town with my wife to Italy and I made $6,500. This could be you. I mean, that kind of creativity,
Yep.
You got to paint the picture of lifestyle because that's what this business is all about. And that's what everybody else that's not doing it and having success wants. So if you're sharing those positive stories and the things you've got to do today, instead of having to go punch a clock and do those kind of things, man, that's painting the picture. Mm-hmm. You're living the dream. And that's what is cool. That's what people are looking for, is to be able to have that flexibility and freedom of their time schedule, just like we do.
Yep, exactly.
You got to show that, paint that.
I'm going to click send and see if I got time down or not.
Did you copy it?
What?
Copy. Control A.
What does that do? Select all?
Yeah, select everything in there.
I just learned something.
There you go. That's why.
Then when you send it out, if it says screw you, you can say screw you back and put it right back in.
All right, let's see. Send now.
Oh, it worked.
Went to the 420 I have in here. I use my own autoresponders. These are older leads, but hey, I still hit them up with these and try to cultivate something from them.
Hey guys, real quick, that's a quick lesson. I hope everybody picked that up just now. Why come to this? You were here last week. What are we going to do differently? Steve just picked up something. How long have you been doing this? You just picked up a tip.
Too long.
A couple of things in your business. I did. Google. I've Googled lifestyle before, but not that particular combination that John just threw out there. What did I do? Grab my notebook. I jotted it down. These are things that no matter, I've been doing it 10 years, he's 5 years, 6 years, 2 years. Doesn't matter. You're going to learn something if you come and show up and open your ears. Mm-hmm. Pay attention. You will learn things that'll help you become successful. Right, guys?
Oh, absolutely. And the important thing, though, is not to just to learn things, but to then take action on them. That's I think one of the things that I owe, some of my success to is always taking action on stuff when I learn it. Even if, don't feel like you have to do everything perfect, especially when it comes to like advertising or anything like that. You learn something, just do it, because you can get better at it next week. You get better at it the week after that. You can always get better. But if you don't take action, nothing ever happens. So whenever you learn this stuff, take action on it. Send a broadcast out tonight and, kind of incorporate some of the stuff that you just learned, because then it'll become second nature.
Then it's recorded too, guys. So if we went too fast, you can, when this gets posted, go into your back office and prosperitynexus.com, your training site. You're paying for it, so you can go back and use it and stop and start it and study it. And then you might be surprised and go, oh my God, look at this. How to do a broadcast is right in my back office. And I didn't even know it was there.
Yeah, this was a pretty thorough one, so we're not going to do this again for a while. It was important to do it because I know when we end these things and we say, hey, guys, make sure you send a broadcast out, get people the webinar. I know not everybody understands what that means. And, at this point, I think people get afraid to ask the question. So,
there's no dumb question. No dumb.
No, there's dumb answers sometimes, but never a dumb question. And this is just so important. It's a fundamental key to success, I guess, with the business is making sure you do this. So,
well, there isn't any post in life, be it a musician, an athlete, CEO of a company, where competence isn't a very important ingredient to success. You can even have the greatest mindset in the world and have total faith and belief. But if you went out into the basketball court and you couldn't dribble, I'm sorry, you're dead.
Yeah.
And the opposite thing too, personal growth, as Jim Rohn said, is the ladder to pick the fruit at the top of the tree. So if you got all kinds of chops and competence and you can do this and that, and your mindset's horrible, well, you're not going to be at the top of the tree to pick the fruit. So, you got to have mindset, and that's something that is personal growth and personal study. You got to have competence, and then you got to get some kind of work ethic, because I've seen people with great mindsets, lots of chops, but they're lazy. They do it once in a blue moon and still doesn't matter. And they got two-thirds of the ingredients to success, but they're just not working, and so they're dead. So you got to have all three.
The difference between successful entrepreneurs and those that aren't is absolutely implementation and execution. Doing it on a regular basis, persistence. You can learn all day long if you don't take action and implement like we're talking about. And then when you do it over and over and over, it becomes second nature. And that's what's cool, because it's not a difficult thing to run this business. Once you do it and continue to do it and you get better and better at it, then when somebody calls you, you pick up the phone, man, this is no big deal to you. You got this down. And the confidence exudes over the phone or in anything you're doing. And I promise you, but you got to do the implementation. You get the knowledge. You got to implement and do it. And you got to do it consistently. And the confidence will come. But you got to believe in yourself. We talk about that all the time. I do. You got to believe in yourself, because nobody else will until you do.
Absolutely correct.
That is true.
Time for questions?
Yeah, let's see if we have questions. Lines are just open, I believe. So if you're muted, you did that to yourself. So you can unmute yourself if you have a question. But I'll tell you too, when you're inviting people to the webinars, it's going to make that experience much more fun for you too. It's fun to go to a webinar when you have prospects on it.
One more thing about that invitation, Steve, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Be sure and call me after the webinar, and let's get your remaining questions answered. It's one thing I use on every one of them. Do I get calls back every time? But no, it'd be nice to have the phone ring. So if you're doing the blast and you invite them to call you afterwards, no pressure, just real answers, something to that effect, you'll have your phone start ringing if you continue to do it.
Yeah, and remember, this is a high-ticket, 100% commission business. This is not like, oh my God, if I do all this work and I even got 4 sales, I just made $250 in my MLM. This is like, you might think you've just done a lot of work. Let's say you sent out 420 like Steve just did. You called 30 this week. You took out 3 Craigslist ads. Seems like a lot of work. But let's say that netted you 1 sale. Even if it was the lowest sale, $2,000. I mean, let alone if it was 6,500 or 3,500. So I always look at this as a high-ticket, top-tier business. So even a bunch of work that only yields me 1 sale is a big, exciting win as compared to other businesses.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a, we talk about it on the webinar too. It's a low volume, so we're swinging and missing a lot, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, we're making a lot of outs. And
Babe Ruth, look at that. He struck out more than anybody in history, but who's got the home run?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's another thing about mindset, guys. Everybody else on this call, you got to understand, most of the people that you try to get into this business and you get them to the information, they're not coming. And it's okay. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Don't get your heart set and depend on somebody you think, oh, they were so good. I really need them to come in. I need the money this week. You cannot get in that kind of mindset. You just keep filling that funnel. You keep doing what you do and make sure you're doing your part, getting to these calls and asking questions, getting 3 ways. You've got to get 3 ways to your partner. That's the second part of it. But if you do this in the process and you continue to get better, it will come. Only way it won't is if you stop doing it.
Yeah, Babe Ruth used to say, they asked him how come he struck out so many times. He says, because anything that's near me, I swing to try to hit a home run.
Yep.
So that means he had more swings per at bat than anybody. So what if he had more strikeouts? Look how many home runs. It's legendary.
But he kept swinging, and that's a good analogy because that's what we do here. We fail a lot, but if we get our 2, 3, 4 sales a month, well, we're potentially making over $200,000. So I mean, that's what this business is all about. So there is a lot of failure, and that's kind of what the mindset and personal growth has to do with it, because you are going to fail. And what's going to happen too is that the people that end up signing up with you are not the people you thought were going to sign up with you in a lot of cases. Right? You could have 2 hot prospects. One of them you're positive they're coming in, and the other one, and the one that you're positive about, they go away, and it's the other one that signs
As
up.
Steve knows, I just had that happen to me. I had many, many sales last week, and I had one that was for sure, and then the for sure turned into a last-minute surprise that puzzled the heck out of me.
Adios.
It happens, man.
If I dwelled on it too long, I could get really upset. But hey, it'd be better taking that energy and promoting to 20 more people.
You have to look at it as it's their loss, not yours. You have to believe in it and believe in yourself. And if you just keep doing that, don't let any one person that stepped away from it, you've got to feel bad for them and move on, not feel bad that they didn't come in or that you struck out. This is their loss, and you got to keep doing the effort. This is not an easy. Our profession, entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, and salespeople, is a hard profession in that it's high paying. But a lot of people, you got to be able to handle the no's, and you got to just keep filling them and not let it worry you, because if you let that get in your head, that's what causes people to stop. And you could be the very next phone call was your success. And once you start getting that success, it starts feeding on itself.
Yeah, you can't get to that yes sometimes unless you go through 20 no's. So if you keep thinking there's a yes behind so many no's, then you get the right mindset.
Right. Don't ever let anybody's failure to come into this business drive you out of it. That's the bottom line.
And I think that's something good to end on. I got to scoot, but I think this was a good call.
Perfect.
Hope it was helpful for you guys. Make sure you get people on that webinar on Wednesday, okay? Really, really, really important.
Do the work, guys. Do the work. You'll see the success.
All right, guys. Have a good rest of the night.
Take care.
All right, see you.
Thank you.